What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talk Sports with Jake. Hope we're doing well. Hope you all had a nice weekend. Let's go over the MLB standings. We are just a few days from the Major League Baseball's trade deadline, just 3 days away. As I mentioned, the day of the deadline, for about 5 days, I'm going to be in New Jersey. So I'm not going to be able to cover all the moves until the deadline starts, until probably almost a week later. So obviously I've covered the ones that have happened so far. I'm going to cover some more today, do some talking about that. And but let's get into the standings. American League East, the Toronto Blue Jays continue to roll. They are 63 and 42. They have the best record in all of baseball, like we all predicted, right? They've opened up a 6.5 game lead on the New York Yankees. First place in not only American League East, not only the American League, but all of baseball. So kudos to the Toronto Blue Jays. New York Yankees, they've been struggling for a while now. 56 and 48. They've dropped into the wild card. They they are right now the first wild card, but it's very, very tight. Now you lose Aaron Judge. That's a tough loss for them. He's gonna miss. They're hoping it's only a minimum stay. He's got a elbow flexor strain. I don't understand that organization. They've become not irrelevant. Obviously, they're still the Yankees, but just kind of a clown organization with the guys running the show. There's a viral clip of him wincing after he tracked down that ball in the outfield and threw it into the infield against Toronto, and then you keep him in the lineup for several more days, to the point where he reports after the game against Philadelphia, hey, I had some trouble throwing the ball. You sit him out for a game, you haven't gotten an MRI. It's like, oh, he's a flexor strain. Just I'm not saying I would have prevented. I mean, flexor strain isn't that bad. Could have been a lot worse. I'm not saying they could have prevented an announcement, but I think you would have liked to try for what's maybe the best player in the American League. So that to me that was mishandled, like a lot of things are in the Bronx. And they make a trade. Also, they went out and made the move to get Ryan McMahon. Talk about that already. They also make a move to go and get Ahmed Rosario from the Washington Nationals. I think Clayton Beater and outfield prospect Abraham Martinez. To me, this is an okay move. He's a fine utility piece. The top prospect with the Mets hasn't quite turned out like we all thought. Has bounced around the league for a while. Has turned into a decent-ish player. This year he's hitting 270 with 736 OPS. He's been okay at the plate. He's a versatile defender. He's has came up a shortstop. That's where he mainly plays. Can also play second as well as the outfield. You wonder maybe they throw him out there in the center field or in right field or something for a little bit until Judge gets, because Judge will have to designate be a DH at first upon coming back, so they can keep maybe platoon him somewhere. I'm sure that they're going to want to keep Stanton out of the outfield as much as possible. I know they're saying that they may have to put him in the outfield. They could just call Spencer Jones, your top prospect outfielder, who's killing it in AAA, but they're not. Meanwhile, they're not trading him either. The most boneheaded and just pathetically dumb move I've ever heard. Rosario's Yankee. They don't give up a whole lot. Clayton Beater is a depth starter. He's 26 years old. He's only pitched in 2 games this year for the Yankees. Hasn't looked good in either of them. Last year, pitched in only 3 games. Didn't look good in any of those either. He's got 9.8 ERA and 7 1/3 innings the last 2 years with the Yankees. He's been a minor league pitcher for pretty much his whole career. He was a sucker round pick by the Dodgers in 2020. Hasn't really turned into anything thus far. This year in AAA for the Yankees, in AAA, in 18 games out of the bullpen, he pitched briefly in AA and in A ball, which is kind of weird. He's got a 3.54 ERA in 18 appearances out of the bullpen. Been mainly a star throughout his career in the minor leagues, but he's already 26, so he's at this point he's just a deaf pitcher at best. Brown Martinez is actually a legit prospect. He's this young kid from India, only about 19 years old. He's been killing this year. He's only had 57 at bats, but is hitting over 400 with an 1139 OPS. Obviously, it's in rookie ball, for his career. 320 career average, 845 OPS, but only 172 at bats. That's all in rookie ball. He's still extremely young, still only 18, 19 years old or so. So We don't really know what he is yet. They send him to Washington. And for Washington, this is probably what bet you were going to get back. Rosario's on a expiring deal. He's older. I mean, he's not old. He came into the league really young, so he currently is 29. This guy's got a very limited ceiling as a player. Expiring deal. We're going to get a whole lot for him. You get at least you get a potentially good outfit prospect who this far looks like he can hit the cover of the balls. We'll see what happens. And just an okay move. It gives your bench a little boost, which you're going to need. With obviously Aaron Judge is going to be out the next week and a half or so. You may have to send Stanton out into the outfield, which you lose some depth and versatility that way. It's an okay move. It's not what they need. They really need some more pitching, but they don't give up a whole lot. It's not like they got a horrible player. He's to this point, he's been a net hitter, decently versatile defender. That's about it. Kind of a nothing move to me. But moving on with the MLB standings, we got Boston is only a game behind the Yankees, 7.5 games out of the division. We got Tampa, who's been struggling for a while. They're 53 and 52, 2.5 games out of a spot now. Big series between them and the Yanks that starts today. If the Yanks take care of business, they can almost force the race to out. I know they're kind of going back and forth right now. Have some controllable pieces like Pete Fairbanks and Brandon Lau, and Diaz that probably get moved. But if the Rays were somehow take 3 in that series, now you put yourself in a position where we can either stand pat or do a light buy, maybe make a run of the playoff spot, and then if you're the Yankees, you make that you almost kill yourself in the division, and you make even your wild card chase a little bit tougher. And then Baltimore, 46 and 58, they're buried in last place. They're 9 games out of a spot. They're gonna have to sell. American League Central, Detroit's been really struggling. They've lost like 12 of their last 14, something like that. You've lost 6 in a row. You're at 60 and 46 this year. Not playing good baseball. Still got a big lead in the division. Cleveland's now 7 games out, but at one point it was like 13 and a half, 12 and a half, something like that. So you've let some of these teams in the division kind of back into the race. Cleveland has been playing pretty well. They're 7 games out of the division, 3 games out of a spot. They're right at 500, 52 and 52. But that being said, some of their pitchers are doing some really stupid things. Closer Emmanuel Clase, who last year was the best reliever in baseball in the regular season, has had not as good of a year, but still a good year this year. Has been placed on a disciplinary leave by the league. They're investigating a gambling investigation. Another fellow Guardians pitcher, Luis Ortiz, has been also investigating for the same things on the same list, has been for a while. Do these guys not get it? I get some of the stuff with these athletes is kind of dumb. Like, I know, like, the NFL is a rule, like, obviously you can't bet on the NFL, but you also can't bet on any sport at your team facility. Like James Williams, the Lion receiver, a couple years ago, placed a bet on their sport within their facility, so we got a 6-game suspension. But these guys got to know the rules. It's one thing if you want to, if Emmanuel Clase wants to bet, the over on the wins for the Cleveland Browns this year. But can't bet on your own sport. Either way, you got to know the rules. And that if you're Cleveland, then do you sell now? Like you're only 3 games out. You've gotten a lifeline in the division because of how bad Detroit's been playing. Just what are we even doing here? What a dumbass. Kansas City's at 51, 54. They're 8.5 out of the division, 4.5 out of a spot. They did not sell. They make a slight buy, make a trade for Randall Grichuk ahead from Arizona. They said pitching prospect Andrew Hoffman the other way. Grichuk is past his prime, but he's still been decent this year. At 33 years of age, is here in Arizona. He's hitting 280, 7 homers, 22 RBIs, 742 OPS, only a 280 on base. He's not a great defender on the outfield. He's really a DH, but and he's not the guy that's he's not going to hit 300 anymore. He's not going to hit 30 home runs anymore, but still a battle league average hitter, which can't say he needs because they are been dreadful offensively pretty much all season. And they send Andrew Hoffman the other way. He was drafted in the 12th round by Atlanta back in 2021. He's already 25 years old. For the most part, has not been good in the minor league this year. In 32 games out of the bullpen in AAA, 2.25 ERA, with 2 seasons, 4 holds. Yeah, as a starter, he was not very good. In 2022, between high A and double A, he pitched well, 37, 70 ERA, and 24 starts. So the last 2 years he was terrible. He had a 5.5 in between double A and triple A 2 years ago. He ERA over 6 last year between rookie ball and triple A. They started him way back in rookie ball. He was really bad in triple A last year. Was moved to the bullpen midway through the triple A season this year. And Arizona's AAA club moved to the bullpen this year full time. He's actually has pitched a lot better. He's got 55 Ks against 10 walks in 40 innings, so maybe could be a future closer for the Arizona Diamondbacks as Kansas City sends him over there. Possibly. We'll see what happens, but I overall think it's a fine for Kansas City. It's not a whole lot to go. He's already 25 years old. And they also extend Seth Lugo 2 years, $46 million with a vesting option for 2028. The option vests if he reaches certain performance bonuses. It could be a certain amount of innings pitched, certain amount of starts, could be strikeouts, something like that. He's the guy who came up with the Mets as a starter, wasn't great as a starter, got moved to the bullpen full time, was a great reliever, but I kind of always wanted to start. And a few years ago, 2023, signed with San Diego. Had a good year. First time as a full-time starter, first time in years. But last year, he's been brilliant for the Royals. I was an all-star last year. Last year, I actually was the runner-up in the AL Cy Young race. Scuball ran away with that. But last year, in 33 starts, which led the league, 16-9 ERA of 3. He had 181 strikeouts against just 48 walks and 206 and 2/3. He's been even better technically statistically this year. Probably should have made the All-Star team this year. 19 starts, 7-5, 2.95 ERA, 99 strikeouts against 33 walks in 113 innings. He doesn't have like overwhelming stuff, but he just locates the pitcher really well. Just a really professional pitcher. Is 35 years old. But he didn't come up until he was 26 with the Mets. Rookie year was back in 2016. So this is only year 10 for him. I'm glad he got his bag. He's become one of the better pitchers in baseball, very underrated in Kansas City. And the Kansas City Royals locking him down. And so he gets extended. And continuing along with the standings, you got Minnesota at 50-54. They're 9 games out of the division, 5 games out of a spot. And the White Sox obviously buried in last place at 38-67. Houston, 16-45. First place to us haven't been playing great, though. Scouts still right there, only 4 games out of the division. They are right now up a second wild card in the American League, a half game ahead of Boston. They're only a half game behind the Yankees, though, for the first wild card spot. You got Texas, who's been playing really well. They've won 5 games in a row, 55-50. Now 5 games out of the division, only a half game out of a playoff spot. The Angels, 15-55. You're 5.5 games out of a spot. And the Athletics, starting to get a little bit. You have some legit young pieces over there, but still haven't put it all together. 45-62, where they are buried in last place. 11.5 games out of a wild card spot. National League East, Mets would lead Philadelphia by a game and a half. They're at, I think, 62-44. They've won 7 games in a row. Playing some great baseball. You just had a sweep of San Francisco. Before that, you swept the Angels. They've had some late game heroics, offensively, defensively, and with pitching as well. Philadelphia is a game and a half out, 60-45. Overall, they're playing well. You have Miami, who's been playing some excellent baseball. They are 50-53, I think, right now. They are 5 games out of a wild card spot, so they've been hot. Does that keep Sandy Alcantara in Miami for them year? We'll see what happens. Atlanta, 44-59. They are buried. Their entire starting rotation is on the injury list. They just brought in Eric Fate to see if they can try and fix him. But they are buried. There's a ton of injuries this year. Their whole open day rotation is on the injured list. And the Nationals obviously are buried in last place in the National League East. Of course, they already fired the manager and the GM. National League Central, we got the Cubs and the Brewers tied for, I believe are both tied for first place right now. Both been playing really well, especially Milwaukee. The Reds have been playing well. They're only the game or so out of the spot. St. Louis, they're actually only 2.5 games out of a spot or so, but apparently they're dangling up with their players, including Ryan Helsley, Brandon Donovan, even Nolan Arenado, their baseman, who we thought would get traded in the offseason, didn't end up happening. Pirates, of course, buried in last place. And the West Dodgers haven't been playing great for a while, but still leading that division. They are, I think they're still tied with the Mets for the best, or right ahead of them for the best record in the National League. San Diego's 5 games out, haven't been playing great lately, but they are, right now, they are the last team in the National League. Giants right behind them, but they have been really struggling for a while. They've been really bad offensively this year. Devers, upon getting there, really struggled. Has been getting hot lately. Finally, think of going into this Mets series, like he's maybe going to the second game of the Mets series. Last 7 games hitting like 340 or something like that. But they're offensively they've been really bad overall, and they've been really they think they have a second worst mark in the National League over like the last month and a half or so. I think a little baseball actually, and also their bullpen hasn't been great this year. That was a strike last year, been a bit of a weakness this year. Arizona, they're 5 games out, but they've already sold. You sent Josh Naylor to Seattle, and then you sent Randall Grichuk to Kansas City. I expect them to continue to do that. Obviously, Corbin Burns just had Tommy John. You're kind of buried in a tough division. We're getting their 500 playoffs. Looks bleak. A lot of pending for agents. I'm sure they're all going to get moved. And the Colorado Rockies are 27-77. They just are historically bad. Nothing else really to see there. We have a couple of deals in the NFL. Training camp is upon us. Started last week. Shamar Stewart has finally signed his contract. Bengals first round pick. Has been on a stand up with the Bengals. We've almost never have seen before. They finally got a fully guaranteed deal. It's 4 years, like 19 and a half, almost $20 million. Shamar said both sides found common ground after they stopped arguing. He finally has signed his deal, so it's good news for the Bengals, particularly a defense that's starved for talent. Well, I drafted him 17th overall. The Dallas Cowboys extend Jake Ferguson, veteran tight end, 4 years, $2 million with $30 million guaranteed. This is a good deal. Last year did miss a few games, but in 14 games had 59 catches for 494 yards. Did not have a single touchdown. Year before that, when he played every single game, he had 71 catches for 761 yards and 5 touchdowns. Only going to be 26 years old next year. So this is a good deal for them. I'm not sure how they're going to be able to pay Micah Parsons. You're going to wait till the last minute, or he's not going to do it at all. He works on his own time over there, but he's still unsigned. He has not signed an extension yet. Jerry basically called him out for being hurt last year. I don't know what's going on in Dallas, but they extend the tight end Jake Ferguson. And we'll also have Charger extend all-pro offensive tackle Rashawn Slater, 4 years, $114 million with $92 million guaranteed, makes him the highest paid offensive tackle, maybe even offensive lineman in the history of the NFL. He was the second best tackle in football last year from a first round pick. It's been a dog since he got drafted. A big part of the Chargers' improvement last year was the offensive line. Obviously, he drafted Joe Alt on the other side of him, 5th overall last year as well. Slater is one of the league's best offensive linemen, and he deserves to be paid as such. Part of that Smackdown from this Friday. We had a nice salute to and tribute video to Hulk Hogan. Of course, unfortunately passed away a few days ago. A very sad situation. Then we had a segment between Jelly Roll and Logan Paul, and Jelly Roll handled the Boss Man Slam. That promo actually wasn't bad. It was actually a pretty decent promo that he cut. The move, I mean, you could tell he's very, I'm not someone amateur in the ring, but he hit the move. I guess that's cool. But and there was some stuff going on through Manchester that he's stuck in another country. Supposedly they're expected to be resolved before this weekend. Hopefully it is. Otherwise, they're kind of screwed. People were joking, saying that he was they're so like, he's got to take the pin from Jelly Roll, so he threw his visa or his passport in the river. Then you had Roxanne Perez defeat Alexa Bliss. Of course, this is leading up to Raquel and Roxanne defending their women's tag titles against Bliss and Charlotte Flair at SummerSlam. Jade Cargill defeated Chelsea Green, and she was attacked by the Secret Hearth, but then Tiffany Stratton came out and made a save. Jill was holding her belt, and Tiffany rips it away. Of course, they have a WWE Women's Championship match coming up at SummerSlam. SummerSlam period will, of course, be tomorrow, Wednesday, since Thursday, Friday, through next Tuesday, I won't be doing the show. Cody Rhodes cut a promo. It didn't wasn't a whole lot. It was nice that he touched on Hulk Hogan passing away. I'm sure Hulk was probably close with his father, Dusty Rhodes, another late great wrestler. But other than that, nothing a whole lot there. He did say like he wants the real John Cena. He wants basically babyface John Cena. So does Cena turn face at SummerSlam? They'll both have a promo with each other this upcoming Friday. Fatu beats The Miz. Miz finally comes back to SmackDown after being off TV for 2 months, but then Solo and MX attack him. Lumis will try to help out for Solo and Fatu of their U.S. title match in a steel cage at SummerSlam this weekend. And Zelina Vega confronted Julia, who has new representation. Kiana James is back on TV, which is cool, as her representation. So next week on Smackdown will be the women's U.S. title match. Why it's on something, I have no idea. Damian Priest and Aleister Black should be on that as well. He had a WWE Tag Team Championship match. Lumis and Gacy, the YSX, defended against Andrade and Ray Fenix. It was disqualification. The entire tag division got involved, and then it was announced by Nick Aldis, a 6-team, the whole SmackDown tag division, 6-team TLC match for the WWE Tag Team Championships at SummerSlam. So happy the tag team titles are being defended on a PLE finally. Remember the TLC match that the Profits had with who was it? It was the Profits, Motion Machine Guns, and DIY maybe. The SmackDown after WrestleMania, and it was one of the best tag matches in a while. It was an absolute banger. So this is going to be obviously Lumis and Gacy, the YSX, will defend against Andrade and Fenix, Braxium, most of the Machine Guns, Street Profits, and DIY. I expect that to be an outstanding match. Very excited for that. Looking forward to Raw tonight. That's all I got for you guys today. Till next time, so long. Have a great day.